Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan together with Khoo, Chuang. It's Thursday, is it?
It is.
It is Thursday.
Yes, it is
so
Thursday.
The fact is we're one day closer to the weekend. TGIT, and hopefully, if you follow Dr. Mark Mobius, Mr. Boom, Doom and Gloom, you know, he's always been very, very pessimistic anyway, but he did say something along the lines of, look, medium-term outlook is so bad, we should all just go and drink.
Yeah, fill the pool with beer and just
fill his pool with beer. So I think that's the way he thinks he wants to weather through the storm. For us, of course, today we had recalibration budget day, and that sort of took up a lot of the headlines. Overall in the market, 3% up, well, 3 points up, 0.2% to 1634.5. Total volume was about 1.8 B, the value of that a bit more, 2.4 B. The top guys who lost were Axiata, Digi and Maxis, because I think what happened was in the budget, they said they're going to get more revenue from spectrum farming.
Yep.
So this is going to hit those three, right? Gainers of MyEG, SK Petrol and CIMB. SK Petrol was because EPF actually upped their stake in them.
They did, yeah. But you mentioned budget recalibration day. So the government acknowledged that they're going to be losing between 7 and 9 billion ringgit in terms of lower oil prices. But they'll be getting back about 8 billion of that in terms of the savings today. But I think the big headline recalibration came from the EPF reduction, whereby you as a personal person, as an individual,
as a personal person, yes,
would reduce your EPF contributions by 3% to massage about 8 billion ringgit into the consumption spending.
Well, they said it was a short-term measure, right? But when I see it, I actually shut up with a shock, because it's not like you're in Japan where they save a lot of money. Malaysians sometimes do live sort of like hand to mouth. You've heard about high household debt.
Well, Malaysians have the highest household debt in ASEAN.
Yeah, exactly. So is that, okay, we can question to the cows come home whether it's the right thing. Were there any other cuts that could have been made?
Well, no cuts to ministry spending, but this has been foisted back onto the people. They've got to delve into their savings to put more money into the economy, into what the government has shirked the responsibility from in terms of the blame that's been going on.
Well,
it's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The ringgit actually did improve a little bit. It saw a little bit of strengthening, but it's still miles off what it used to be.
It went from 4.26 at noon to 4.20 by the end of the day, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's pretty good. So it's a good thing to see. Maybe it's short term. We'll see how it actually goes for the Friday. Looking on to, of course, the region as well. The region actually trimmed its losses because although Wall Street had a bad day, everybody else sort of like pulled a little back because, of course, Yellen and Khoo did say that, look, we acknowledge we're keeping the rates. We acknowledge that the economy is not the actual strong stallion, but more the weakling foal kind of thing. So whether there's going to be a raise this week is going to be interesting. But yeah, looking at all of it, right, we did see, as you can see from like Nikkei and Shanghai charts, you know, the movement is what it is. So moving on, of course, to our hot stock of the day, we are looking at Nexgram, one of the highest volumes traded today, up 9% in trade to about 6 cents on nearly 16 million shares. The interesting thing about this is, of course, there's no new news about the company, no new good news anyway about the company, because 10 days ago it announced it would spend about 41 million to acquire Transaway's shipping Sdn Bhd. But let's not forget, these guys wanted to take over Iritex last year in November, and that just sort of exploded massively in their face.
Well, they wanted to buy Iritex on November. They withdrew the offer in January, and then what happened as a result? As a result of the transparency, the regulators came in and said, hey, what happened to your assets in 3 of your subsidiaries? So now they're fighting fires on that front, but what happens is per fact that they're still going on in the ordinary course of business. They bought for 41 million this logistics tracking service provider, but they've also gone into property development. They're going to be doing some stuff in Cyberjaya and Putrajaya.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that is going to be a stopgap measure because these guys were never set up for that. And their founder, which is Datuk Larry Te Poyi, he has been at the center of controversy because he actually founded the company. Then in mid-Jan, he said, look, I have other interests. I am going to leave you at that. Never mind all the and you wonder, it's like, Datuk Larry, mate, was it the controversy that soured you a little bit on something that you founded?
Well, I mean, the 3 subsidiaries were Nexgram Resources, Go Dynamic Investments,
Go Dynamic,
PT Semester Turta, which is I think go through Go Dynamic.
going. Nexgram Resources are going, gone.
I hope it's not another Transmal, this business, in terms of the assets that were not really assets, which were not really there.
Yeah, actually, in the rare occasion, SC actually invoked this power to release this public statement to say, you know what, we don't think everything's kosher after Datuk Larry, mate. It's like, the fact is, it's the way, and they actually sent a team to go to Indonesia, obviously for this PT semester, to see whether or not it was a house or
a cardboard box.
Or a cardboard box. Anyway, just to wrap up for you, we're looking at Nexgram today. Hard to actually miss it for the fact that it went up 9%, one of the most actively traded stocks on the market. However, we didn't see anything new about it, so we are wondering what's going to happen behind the scenes. They were embroiled in this whole assets, no assets kind of thing. Their founder left midway last year, so let's see whether or not, what actually happened, or is this a sign that something's brewing behind the scenes? Moving on to our stocks with momentum, we're looking at, CWorks. And you can only call it CWorks for so long, by the way. It's decided it wants to become a butterfly.
It's a bit like Prince, who then became something else, became something else.
Became a symbol, yes.
So they'll be soon known as Orion IXL, some constellation, some kind of star. I think.
Okay, we're not going to laugh at their name because we're gonna get scolded for that. But
it's a loss-making provider of maintenance management software.
Yeah, okay. The share has more than tripled current levels since early October. Maybe they do feel, because I read their annual report, it's very bare, and I suppose at the minimum they just want to say, look, business is tough. That's why we think our earnings, as you can see it, are down. And, this is why we want to embark on this new phase of their life. They actually got a query because they wanted to raise this 4.96 million in a private placement. It's hardly earth-shattering amounts of money, and you wonder why the leap. Because even today, like we said, negative momentum, but it went up 10.5%.
It did. Well, actually, the query came on the back of the surge in the share price, tripled since October. But then they're trying to raise about 5 million ringgit from this placement. They're going to be building some new software. They're going to have to pay for salaries and administrative expenses. And so, they've got to prove it now to the market.
Yeah, exactly.
Having raised the money.
Exactly. So now we have to see what's the next step for these guys, because if you're pegged with negative momentum, that usually means you don't see any news on the front. What is going to be good for them? Yeah, the private placement came. What are they going to do with it next? Like you say, very, very well, they have to justify that 5 million, even though it's not breaking the King's Bank in a way of saying. But I don't know, the business that they're in, maintenance management software, they do say there's potential, but maybe the market has not caught up to what it can do for you.
Well, it is. It's loss-making. The revenue on the third quarter basis is 31% down. They're still losing money. They've got to prove to shareholders that if they raise it from shareholders, they can actually spend it and make some money. So, all to play for.
We'll have to see how that goes. We're looking at stocks with momentum for today. We're looking at CWorks. It's negative momentum. There were only negative momentum stocks today, by the way. These guys have seen their share price triple more than current levels since October. Because of that, they got a lovely love letter from Bursa Malaysia. We don't see any new announcements for them, but they did raise money in a private placement. Let's see what they do with it.